Hey everybody, this is the second real-life superhero debut intro with the same costume, the blue and gray actual sweatsuit with the zipper, with actual sweatpants and the other accessories that go with it. Yeah, this is the same video, only this time, once again, this time Kurt Angle's Impact Wrestling theme will be my walkout song. The intro song will once again be Nick Flicks, Something You Can Never Own. I apologize for the situation with my dog in the previous version. So yeah, other than that, the taunts and mannerisms and everything else will be the same. So with that being said, let's get started right now.
Don't wanna sleep in, cause I got something to prove. I gotta take what I hate and finally make a move. I think of you and all the shit you gon' do. Well, I'ma make hella sure that I don't become you. Have no regrets, yeah, outside of my chest. I'll never forget what it's like to be in debt. Been stabbed in the back bed, I'll show you what happens. Pass me the mic and I'll show you with action. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own. I feel this pain, you already know. Turn that to gains, let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you could never own.
I'm fed up, dismissing the competition. You're hopeless, I'm trash, they're efficient. Listen, you want a class on tradition? My one condition, forget the best of the century. Talk about the best of all time, you better mention me. Essentially, I'm the best that's ever gonna be. I hold my ground, you never take it from under me. Don't run to me, it's gonna be trouble. I hit you so many times, you see triple or double instead of one of me. I got more heart, more weight to tear you apart. I lay you down on the ground. Made it right, it's no different to me. If you tap out, cash out, or simply pass out for free. Cause you face down, really, barely alive. Cause I'm an animal inside, hear me? I'm what the game is supposed to be. Hopefully you see what I mean. Knock you out, have a scene. You were beaten by a triple team. Box you out the whole scene and clean. Alive like my dream, I shine bright. Smash you, front to back. You gon' need hindsight. In fact, when I attack, you're lucky if I need to attack. I'm prone to overkill. I work you over till I steal your motor skills. To sing whenever I'm done. You're numb, throw the thumb. Folks can't remember their name, or where they're from. And some speechless, slow, looking deaf and dumb. You're weak like 7 days. Dead afraid, I'm amazed. Don't still step up, cause I hit more men than Jenna Jameson in better days. You can't clear your head, you with a Jenna Hayes.
Hey everybody, it's now time for my part 2 real life superhero narration review of the 1995 USA Action Extreme and Malibu Comics inspired cartoon UltraForce. UltraForce. Like I said in part 1, I first discovered UltraForce a short decade ago in 2013. I think the website was called Newsrama. Well, anyway, this review site counted down the worst superhero cartoons of all time, and they had this awesome underrated show and Wildcats in that list, and I liked what I saw. And what, even though it was a negative review, I liked what I saw and what the review website was describing. So I decided to check out the cartoon, especially since there were only about 13 episodes. I watched several in 2013 and finished the show in either 2014 or 15. I can't remember. Yeah, and even did a short review of it. Of course, this is another short narration review because despite how awesome the show was, the show itself really isn't that memorable. And actually, like I said in part 1, the show itself is not the greatest action cartoon of the 90s. However, in my opinion, this show and this comic book and this franchise had the most badass and had the most awesome roster and superhero team of all time. You got your Superman, Shazam, He-Man, and Thor, with elements of Thor inspired character in Prime, the immature leader, the child in pretty much an adult hero's body. You got the superhumanly strong Hard Case, who's like a cross between Thor, Ryle Howland from Dexter's Laboratory, 80s and 70s rock and roll musicians, and the late Eddie Van Halen, Eddie Van Halen himself in Hard Case. Then you got your Tony Stark, Iron Man, sounds like him, looks like him, has similar powers, and is the spokesperson of the group, the armored superhero prototype. Yeah. Then you got the character of then you got a decayed zombie wisecracking Deadpool inspired character named Ghoul. Yeah. One of the reasons this show was hated is that it was seen as pretty much a cheap ripoff of X-Men, and this show and this franchise is an obvious influence of the X-Men, Avengers, and Justice League, particularly the Super Friends cartoon, because the DC animated universe, and the DC animated universe, but mostly the Super Friends cartoon, because the Justice League cartoon wouldn't actually debut until the early 2000s. But you did have two Batman cartoons and a Superman cartoon for the DC animated universe at the time. But once again, what in the 90s was it trying to be those cartoons? The Batman, DC animated universe, and X-Men animated series. They changed the face of Saturday morning cartoons with more mature and adult storylines versus the cheese-tastic campy toyetic shows of that plagued the 80s. Yeah, so what show wasn't trying to be those shows? Those two shows are the most important pieces of animation in the 90s. And like I said in part 1, the show was also incredibly dark. Pix, the Jubilee character, she even shares the same voice actor voice actress as Jubilee from the X-Men animated series. This character in part 1, in episode 3, this early in the series, they killed off a main character in a brutal fashion with radiation poisoning. Like I said in part 1, this review right here is the introduction to a bunch of other other reviews. A larger season 1 webcam review. Got to finish watching the show. Like I said, even though I've already finished watching the show isn't memorable. You'll forget about it as soon as it's over. And definitely gonna do the post-episode review, the webcam post-episode review and reactions, which I debuted with the late 2010s, early to mid 2020s Disney Channel live action situation comedies, series, and dramas. So yeah, what else about this awesome? What else about this awesome show? Awesome animation for its time. Theme song is catchy, but could have been way better. Especially compared to the much superior cartoon Wildcats, which I'm going to talk about next. And then you got what else about this show? And like I said, the most badass roster of all time. You got Prime, Hardcase, Prototype, Ghoul, Pix, and what were the names of the other two characters? Your female characters. Oh yeah, Topaz, Warrior Queen of Gwyndor, and the mysterious Country, who was pretty much, I think, the shows. She was a hybrid of Jean Grey and Professor X, Professor Xavier, who she, according to Wikipedia, she organized the team and provided her technology. Ghoul, he was the last surviving member of a species called the Exiles. Topaz was once again the Warrior Queen of Gwyndor. And Hardcase was one of the first public Ultras and the most famous Prototype, which, once again, speaking of the Ultras, that's pretty much the storyline. It's pretty much just like the Wildcats. It's an ongoing war. It's an ongoing war between these groups called the Ultras, the Ultras, the heroes, the mutants, and these and they're battling these underground groups. They battle this, especially in the first 3 episodes. They battle this underground mutant group who hates and wants to wipe out the surface dwellers. They deal with them and a bunch of other unmemorable baddies throughout the series. Like I said, I wish I could tell you more, but that's the whole purpose of this review, and that's why it took me so long to review this, even though I did do one short review, which was even shorter than this. Yeah, now, I also have read some UltraForce comic books, which I'm going to do another UltraForce cartoon and comic book tie-in review, the comic book and cartoon together. I've also played the video game. I think the video game and cartoon were better than the comic book. At least were better than the comic book so far. I've only read the first couple of issues, but it was cool to see where the UltraForce started. And I think that's one of the other reasons people don't like this cartoon, is it was different from this comic book. What animated series is an exact replica of this comic books? Even the X-Men, the animated series, had to change things in various areas to better fit the network's censorship standards. So yeah, this was my review of UltraForce. Like I said in part 1, underrated cartoon. To see the original part 1 narration introduction, the link will be in the description box below. You don't want to hear the rest of the music? Turn the video off right now.
TNA. It's like a spotlight and main events in his DNA. Who you say? It's Kurt Angle, Benito, settled. Best in the world, only guy in the sport with a gold medal. Feature both ends to the center. Physical and mental, cause he's simply better. No playing around with no second attacks. And lay it down for a 3-second nap on the mat. You staring at the ceiling on your back is appealing. Get yourself a match and you gon' do that. It's a rap, you trapped in the game. You a rat in the maze, just amazed how I made my name. My fame is a runaway train on the track. I fight like my life's on the line every night. In fact, that's why I'm gonna take that strap.